Your Excellency, lots of geopolitical uncertainty. How concerned are you about the future of energy supplies and ensuring they're affordable for Zimbabweans in the future?
Yes, thank you for the question. As Zimbabwe, we are very concerned about the issue of energy security, number one, and energy access to the entire population of the country. And what we are doing currently is to encourage investment by the private sector into the energy sector. For most of the time, a few years back, it has been government responsibility to ensure that energy is supplied in the whole country through a government utility. But we've now changed our regulations and opened up the sector to private players. And we are encouraging all those who would want to invest in the energy sector. And we are saying that there is a lot of opportunity in that sector because of the supply-demand gap. So the market is there, the market is mature, and we encourage people to come in and fill in that gap. And we think that is going to ensure that access to energy services in the country is going to increase. And our target is by 2030, we must have universal access to energy services in the country.
And you rely heavily on coal at the moment in Zimbabwe. What are you doing to try and address those concerns and your emissions when it comes to development?
Yes, true. Coal is our dominant engine for the supply of power. But however, with the current thrust towards reducing carbon emissions and to mitigate on climate change, we are now moving towards renewables. And one of the key renewables we're looking at is solar. And we have developed government implementation guarantees to the private sector for independent power producers to come into the sector and ensure that the contribution of solar to our energy mix is enhanced. To ensure that that is catalyzed, we have asked mining companies who are consuming about up to 25% of the total energy that the country generates. We have asked them to develop solar projects and generate their own power from solar. And that is happening very well. We gave them a deadline of the end of 2025, and we are sure they are meeting that deadline.
And aside from solar, which other renewables are you looking at? Hydro power is important for Zimbabwe as well.
Yes, hydro power has also been a dominant contributor to our energy mix, but due to climate change, we've seen receding water levels for power generation in Lake Kariba. And what we are now doing is to intensify on solar, and our solar is also on Lake Kariba, whose water is receded. And we have people that have come in to do floating solar systems on Lake Kariba.
And which countries in particular are you looking to partner with as you develop power and energy in Zimbabwe?
Yeah, we have already partnered with some countries, and prospects for further partnerships are very high. China is one country that we are partnering with for our future energy needs. UAE is another very big player in that area. We are also partnering with the UK government through FCDO, who are financing mini grids and microgrids in the country for our solar energy access projects. We have many other countries that have shown interest. India, for example, they are partnering us. We also have others that have approached us that I may not name for ethical reasons before the conclusion of those discussions. But we have many countries that have shown great interest in partnering us.
And there have been some concerns that perhaps Zimbabwe is too reliant on China. You don't think that's the case when it comes to energy security?
No, that shouldn't be a problem. We are working with those that would like to work with us. If China is showing a strong interest in developing energy projects in the country, we welcome them. If any other country shows interest, we don't turn anyone away. We are looking for partnerships that are going to enhance our energy security.
And COP29 coming up, which you'll be at, Your Excellency, what are your hopes for that for Zimbabwe and the African continent?
Yeah, we hope that for COP29 there's going to be less rhetoric but more action. For example, commitments have been made by countries to the extent that they are going to be financing this transition from fossil fuels to renewables. But very little has happened in terms of real funding for those projects from COFAs. So we expect that COP this year is going to migrate from talk to action so that we can see real tangibles on the ground. That's our hope.
And just a final question, a very important vote taking place around the world today, the US election. Is the Zimbabwean government watching it closely, or how are you expecting the reaction to that?
The US is a major player in the world, a major player in politics, major player in economics, everywhere. And naturally what happens in the US has an effect on how the world moves on. So we are also watching, and it is our hope that they are going to have peaceful elections, and the will of the American people is going to prevail, and whoever emerges victorious, Zimbabwe is ready to work with them. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Your Excellency.
Thank you.